Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Tangle Time Arts. My name is Nana Herron, and I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And today I thought we would do kind of a two-in-one. So for week 30 and 31, we've got two very different tangles that we're going to combine. Um, we're going to use, I think it's pronounced Eke, E-K-E. We're going to use that one as a border, and then we're going to fill the space with facade, and both are tangles by Zentangle. All right, for this one, we'll need our basic tools, our beautiful white tile, black pen, number two pencil, and a tortillon. If you don't have a white tile at home, you can use your sketchbook or computer paper, um, or any. I've used other colored paper, cardstock like green or pink. So have fun with that. You may or may not want an additional black pen that is wider, like an 08, because facade is like a high drama tangle. All right, so let's get started. I am going to use the pencil to put a dot in each corner, and I want to, for this one, leave quite a bit of space. So my dots are in way inside, so maybe like half an inch, maybe a little more. And then I'm going to just lightly draw in those lines from dot to dot to dot to dot, all the way around, like so. And then we're going to switch to our black pen and start with our border tangle. And that's EKE, Eek. It might have a different pronunciation. Let me know if it does. But I'm just going to go with it. All right. So for this tangle, it goes pretty quickly, and it's really fun because it's all, looks like cursive letter E's. And I'm just following along that pencil line we drew. For the corner, I'm kind of coming out on the corner there. And we're just going to rotate and keep going. And the key with this one is you want to leave enough space between your E's, because we're going to add more in just a second. So we're just working our way around, taking our time to make these loopy E's. Some are thinner, some are wider. Just finish off like that. So we've gone all the way around, and then we're going to come back around. And there's different ways you can do it depending on how you like to work. You could start in the bottom here, but I'm just going to start in the top where we got our start. And I'm just putting the E's in upside down, but I'm inserting them in the space that we left behind the first time. And I'm going to rotate around. And it just helps me to just come down into, like, dive into this space and loop around. Again, it goes pretty quickly. And this last one is going to be really thin, but tucked in there. All right, so we've got our border. And that's all there is to it. You can fill a space really easily with this tangle, and it is a fun border. We have this nice space inside now that we're going to fill with facade. And facade is kind of reminiscent of Halaba, but in a more structured way. And it's more grid-like, I would say. So the first thing we want to do is draw a line. And I'm just going to go cut this in half like diagonally. You don't have to do a diagonal. You could put your line straight across or at an angle. But I'm just going to go diagonally across. And I'm going to aura that. And your line here might be wider or thinner. Any width is okay. I'm going to rotate this, and what we're going to do is actually put in an X. And with facade, Halaba is much more of a random order in putting in our little, if you want to think of them as like matchsticks. Facade has much more structure. So we're going to now go in and put a diagonal this way. But using that Halaba method where we're going to draw over to our first one and then lift our pen and continue on to the other side, put our pen down and keep going. We're going to do this, lift it up, keep going, and then we will aura that. Like so. Then we're going to rotate back around and we are going to put in more little matchsticks in the direction of the original. So I'm going to come up here. And again, we're going to lift our pen when we meet the previous one, continue on to the other side, keep going. And I'm going to make this one a lot thinner when I do the aura. Then I'm going to come over here to the other side and do another one. All right, so you can see some layering going on there. I'm going to rotate a little bit and do the same thing. So we have to pick up our pen many more times because we have many more previous ones to deal with. I'm going to come over here and do the same thing. This reminds me kind of making like a cherry pie where you make that lattice with the dough. Some of you bakers out there might know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna rotate this way, and then I'm just gonna add some more and finish off. That, and then we can put some up here. And then we can also add some down here. So you definitely get this nice lattice effect. So a lot more structured, but we've got those layers. And then we're going to put something behind all of that lattice. We are just going to draw in large orbs or basically they're circles. And they can be large or small. But again, every time we come to an area that's going to be on top of it, we have to pick up our pen and then keep going. Okay. So we're going to put in some more of these, and they can be bigger or smaller. Pick up your pen, just keep going with your circle. This is going to be small, so this will be like a half circle almost. So we're not going to see a lot of it. Let's see, let's do another one here. So you're just filling in circles. I've put a lot of them at the intersections, but you wouldn't have to, and you can kind of squish them up right next to each other if you'd like that. And let's see, we could tuck one in here, or at least half of one. And maybe part of one there. All right, I think that's maybe enough little circles. We could add more. Let's do one here. Like that. All right, when you have enough circles in the back, then you start inking in. So you can either ink them in solid or you could just go with let's do this. You could just fill them in with lines and then add some color, like with colored pencil if you like. So I think I'll do that. I'll just go in with lines. So you're inking in the parts that are not included in your circles or your little matchsticks. And this could be solid black if you prefer. I just feel like I would like to add a little color today, so I'm not going with the solid. I'm just going with lines. But by all means, if you would like the high drama, then go in with your black pen and fill the entire thing. So I would use an 08, and instead of lines, I would ink that in entirely. I just feel like a little bit of color would be nice today. I was driving around and noticing how many, not only cars, but houses and buildings they're almost all the same color now. They're shades of beige and gray and black. Everything looks very dull and similar when I was driving around. It was kind of sad. It was mostly all these data centers we have going in. All right, so this goes pretty quickly. Just filling in those spaces that do not have a large orb or part of the lattice. And even though I'm not using the solid ink, it still has quite a lot of drama. It's part of the orb. All right. I have the ink in there, and I'm going to do a little bit of shading before we add a little bit of color. Color is optional. So for shading, I want to first of all go all the way around our border here. All right, so once we've done that, then we can shade a little bit, kind of like if we were doing Halaba. So all those areas that are underneath, those are going to get a little bit of the shading there. Let's see. Anywhere there's a kind of like an intersection. I'm just doing both sides. All right, so then we have this here like that. Um, and then I think I actually do want to get, so that we kind of know where we're going now. I'm just going to go all the way across a little bit here. Like that. On either side. Remember to lift your pencil when you come to um, an area, when you meet an area of the ink line, you're going to lift your pencil and keep going. Just really inking those all in. I'm sorry, adding graphite in. It's been a long day already for me. I hope the week gets better. That's when I need to tangle the most, is when I'm having a stressful week. I'm really just following those ink lines that are underneath. I'm just adding graphite just for depth, really, because I didn't do the solid inking. I think that's about good enough because we are going to add a little bit of color. Um, I do also, I think, want to add some graphite around the outside. Now we're just going to do a little bit of blending, and then I'm going to add a little bit of color. So you can see how it looks with color and decide if you'd like to add color or if you just want to go with the black, the solid black instead. All right, let's just follow these ink lines over. Yeah, I'll do these first. Rotate and then do these. These are pretty straightforward, so I don't do a lot of rotating with that. Again, it's very reminiscent of Halava, so but this has definitely got that grid-like structure to it. Whereas Halaba again is quite random. All right, so as you can see, we've got our nice border, and we've got facade inside, and then I'm just gonna blend this out here and add a little color. Trying to decide which color I'd like to add, or if I want to do a couple of colors. All right, we have that. Um, so I'm just gonna take my box of Crayolas here and pick a couple of colors. I definitely want red for sure. So I'm thinking maybe I'm just gonna start along this area here, and I'm just gonna add some color. And probably gonna switch up colors. But along this diagonal here, I'm just gonna do all red. Just light pressure. I don't want it too bold. I just want a little bit of color. Let's take some, let's go with the orange next. Put a little bit of that in. Then maybe go with the yellow. See how that shows up. That's gonna be yellow's always kind of a challenge sometimes. Yeah, you can see it. Sometimes, depending on the light, and I use a lot of natural lighting, sometimes it's harder to see on a video here. And then we can get our green here, a little bit of green. Yeah, and I think I will go back the other way and put the orange over here as well. This goes pretty quickly. You could use a marker or something if you'd like. And then get my yellow and just add a little bit of color there. Just look back through and make sure I got everything. So yeah, it's pretty cute. I like the color with that. Black, I love the drama of black, but sometimes it's a little overpowering and I just want to do something a little different. So in the areas that I have color, yours could be black. And that is awesome. There's no right or wrong here. It's all about you exploring what makes you happy. Um, and that's what we want. We want everyone to find their own inner artist and creativity and to be happy. All right, awesome. So let's put our initials in there. I'm just gonna kind of rotate around to see like where I want to put them. Just trying to figure it out. Oh gosh, I think I see. Where would I like to put them? I think I'm just gonna tuck it in here. I've got my N and my H right in there. I always kind of like to hide mine in there, so you have to kind of look for it. It's just kind of my little thing. So, alrighty. So that's pretty cool. I like the color in there. All right. So let's put my name. It's 2025. It's our weekly tangle, but we did two. So we've got, I think it's 30 and 31. And this is the 22nd. And we had a border of EKE. And then we had facade on the inside. And both are by Zentangle. All right. Yeah, how cute is that? So I like the colors, and those go well with fall. And you can actually see the layers coming through, and it's got that really nice lattice look that you would have like with a cherry pie. And then we have a really easy no frills border that doesn't take very long to do at all. It might take a little bit of practice, but it doesn't take very long once you get the hang of it. And if you're feeling really creative, you could add color to the little E's in there. Maybe a little glitter gel pen. Just saying. All right. I hope you have fun with this, and I hope to see you back soon. Thank you so much for following and joining me on this journey, and I hope you have a great week. Take care, everyone. Love you guys. Bye.